Like,
Okay ka na?
Oo, pero galing ulit kaming hospital kagabi, madaling araw, 11, 12. Kasi magaling na yung technique ko, pero naiwan kasi yung brushes, tas lumala kahapon. Nag-flare up. Ganun. Tapos, ayun, nag-test hanggang pauwi kami, alas 3 na yata. Ano naman daw, hindi naman daw dengue. Tas, in-injection na lang antihistamine, tsaka, anti-cortisol. Tapos sabi, viral lang naman daw. Tas, medyo nawawala. Ha?
Nag-viral yan.
Yung rush lang yung nag-viral.
Yung rush na yung nag-viral.
Super vibe. Super. Wait, saan ba yun? May patch notes. Patch notes. Okay.
Kunain ko na.
Battle Pass XP requirement reduction. Leveling rework. You will no longer be level capped during on the day. Instead, monsters will always give XP, with higher level monsters giving a lot more. Ako kasi nagka-cap minsan pag umaga pala yun. Kaya pala sabi parang yung nagkaka-XP dati. Parang medyo malayo ka, Michael.
Wait lang. Hello, hello?
Nilapit ka muna. Okay
Wala,
naman,
nasa
okay
tingin
naman.
ko, relax. Lakasan mo na lang sa ano, Discord. Pinaka-layout ko, ay yung input ko.
Ayan, okay na. Okay na. Minute lang talaga.
Ah, alam mo naman yun.
All abilities can now be leveled up to 3 or 4 with the special bonus unlocking at 4. Oh, hanggang level 4 na yung abilities. Maximum level has been increased from 9 to 15. Nice! Naglaro kayo kahapon, mga nakaraan?
Hindi. Nung hindi ka
Hanggang,
naglaro, tingnan.
hanggang level 15 na.
Dati di ba 10? Pero kailangan
9,
ako
hindi.
meter.
Oo, may meter beast na yun, yung 10. You now gain plus 10 ability power per level. Base equipment ability power health has been reduced to 66% of previous values. While upgrades has been increased 200% of previous values. Okay. A death or kill is when that player does okay. XP is now granted at knock state. So pag may na-knockdown ka, XP agad. Minions. With the higher weight being placed on PB farm, it's guys a little easier to farm and solo. Minions now spawn between level 6 to 15 rewards. Minions now give 75% of the gold they used to give to account XP Meteor Soul. Level 14 and 15 now grant an ability point so you can take all your abilities level. Players team has a useless spawn. Timer is now based on how many times your team has used a respawn. Starting sa 25 seconds yung unang death siguro, tas 30, 35, 40, 45. So, oh, 37 sequence pa. Dami changes. Level 3 Hunter's ability upgrades. So, dito. Void. Lo, di nerf si Hudson.
Naglalaro.
Let's go dead game. Void. Changes. Ano, practice time? Ay, sabi ko pala sana. Para kita yung ano, bagong skills.
Bagong skills? May bagong skills?
Select your hunter.
Ha? Hindi, ano, yung pag nagle-level up yung effects ng skills. Kasi hanggang level 15 na eh. Team communications, ping updates, emotes, client. Copy that. Ay, man. Buti yung rushes
You'll
ko
have
ano
the
lang.
power when you drop today.
Pink lang, hindi siya yung nagbabumps talaga. Kulay lang.
Parang freckles lang.
Oo, tas pag kinikilabutan ako pag tinitignan ko, lalo siyang namumula. Ay, no, may trend.
Huwag ka muna bumaba. Wala pa ako.
Dahil ikaw ang drop leader.
Ay, yun lang. Makamagulong
Kahit
tayo.
sana.
Wala, di pa. Ganyan pa lang.
Yan, tas tayo sa taas. Yung,
First blood.
tas kunin mo mission yung pau.
Quest
Ay, lagi.
received.
Mali na ko.
The first squad has been eliminated.
Ah, dami ng effects. Hooray. Nakakatuwa, ang dami. Dami ng effects ng skills. Ay, babasahin. What's this?
Bago to. May mga nakadapa. Ay, bago to yung mga to.
Item evolution.
Ay, dito.
available.
Ano?
Ay,
Ay, kunin naman. Bukas agad.
Oo nga eh. Mukhang di nilak na maayos. Ow!
Warning. Storm closing.
Lady. Go! Tumakbo.
Tumusik yun.
Gear evolution available.
Parang ganun pa rin yung ano, yung gaining ng XP. So mas kawawa ka pala talaga lalo pag ano, pag under level.
Oo.
So may kalaban dito sa taas. May ano. Oh, may mobs. Naglalakad ako sa bangin.
Hindi pa ako nag-level. Ito may
Bye!
gold tayo. May gold kit tayo.
Yun! Let's go!
Next time.
Using this armor now.
So mag-teleport, Michael.
Saan?
Random.
May teleport ka.
Random sa loob ng...
Wala ka nakakaano dun eh. Sige nga tayo.
Kaya, hindi ko pa natatry to.
Taking the teleport.
Alam ko ikaw lang yun eh.
Ah, where? Relocate to.
Sige,
ano,
try.
sa ano.
Teleporting.
Eh, ikaw lang.
Kakachi. Oh,
Gamit.
no. Ah, magkita tayo. Dinagdag ko.
Detecting
Stupid
a
naman
meteor
nun.
beast.
Bawal bumalik.
Yung two-way ano ata yun.
Makakas
Half
lang
the
pala yun.
squads are gone.
Teleport.
Okay, kanya-kanya level na
It's
mga
chaotic
tayo.
out
Tas,
there. No more free
yung direction
respawns.
natin pupunta na lang sa...
Sige.
Kita na tayo sa
The
Cubao.
storm is closing.
Para, ano, Cubao, center of the universe. Hangin doon yung kitaan eh.
Kaya, nakikita. Nasa turn ako.
This looks good.
It's a penguin.
Yata pala ako dito. Hindi sure.
Item evolution
Mga
available.
pala may train. May LRT nga pala pag napalayo. Sumakay ng LRT.
Gusto ko pala.
Ay, gagi! Op. Nope.
Malayo ka?
Na-spike ako. Ah,
Baka
kaya go lang. Pero pwede mo akong ma-revive pa doon. Nasa loob ako ng...
hindi, may kalaban dun.
Pumunta na sila dyan. Yan.
Merong ano dun. Hold natin.
Sama mo ako dito. Kunin ko lang yung gamit ko. Fights.
Ayun yung kalaban. Nasa kanan.
Oh, ito yun. Eh. Level 10 sila, Michael. Ah.
That squad has only one survivor.
Hudson pa yung isa.
Storm tightening.
Level 10 na. Ba't ko umiilaw?
Hindi ko alam. Ganyan pa nga yun.
May soul power. Ata.
So, meron akong item na ano, legendary. Pang deploy ng base.
Lagi naglag. No. Habol. Habol. Tanga. Doon sila. Pa din sila.
Meron akong item na pang discount tas unlimited use.
Your base camp is under attack. Allies in combat. Enemies have captured a soul.
Tampot ng
Base
armor
camp
ko.
lost.
Ayan. Hindi ko na spike agad.
Gano'ng katagal? Ganggi ka. Kain na ako.
Get spikes.
Storm's on the move. Stay inside its eye.
Dahil yung ano yata yung sinasabi kong pang patagal. Yung paglibre pa yung respawn.
Another chance.
Ito, ano yata, fixed yata. Sila na naman.
Ito na.
Sige, atras ka lang.
Good luck to me.
Di pa ako makabot. Isang ano na lang.
Good finish.
Oo, wow.
Another one. Void nga ako para di tayo nabubuli na ganun.
Yeah.
Mas maganda yung barrier ni ano eh. Ni Void eh.
Their
Yung barrier
squad's
ni Void
almost
na
finished.
kukusa yung kalaban, di na umatake.
Nakapain na.
Settle. It's better if you stay. It's better if you stay. I see an enemy. Your time is up. Another speck of dust. Forgotten. Enemy neutralized. Meet your end. Another speck of dust. Forgotten. Life
Kasi Void,
extinguished.
5 hits lang kita. Or baka level 1 ka lang talaga.
Kahit ang max level.
Sa level ka.
Ayan.
Ano?
Your time is
Medyo
up.
malaki na rin yung ano, difference nung level gap.
Enemy neutralized. Let's reset. My way. Enemy in my sights. Time to move.
Choose wisely.
Every moment an opportunity.
Another mission. Good.
You are the drop leader.
Ah! Ano na? Saglit, 10 minutes. Ah, sige. Ha?
Whatever.
Sige.
Whatever. 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 Whatever.
Ah.
Unstable portals detected.
Prepare yourselves. We go now.
Parang sarap mag-Albion ulit. May pag
Mag?
Let's begin.
mag-Albion.
Albion? So, balik tayo.
Focus PvP.
Oh.
Kasi kinakabahan tayo mag-PvP dun eh. Kaya ang pangit nun.
Oh. Pwede, samahan kita.
Kailangan focus PvP ko lang.
First
Kailangan
blood.
Dito may vault dito. Yung vault yung ano natin dito.
You have received
Ay, sorry.
a
Sige,
quest.
pasin natin muna.
Okay. Gusto mo mag-Albion, tapos PvP lang.
Oh, sige.
Tapos mamimigay lang tayo
First
item.
elimination.
Try natin. May nag-ano ata?
Gold
May
tier.
nag-oracle.
Sense wealth here.
Sexy.
Bakit? May satellite
Right?
icon ba?
Pula yung oracle. Ayun, pula yung oracle. May pula.
Yun yata
Daming
pag...
gold chip.
Oo nga eh.
Vault
Baka pag
corrupted.
nakita mo lang yung oracle sa mapa.
Optimal defense.
Ay, this ay pala dapat to. Teleport.
Di saya. Mas mabilis akong tumakbo.
An upgrade.
Ay, yung torn siya lubag.
Ito may kanap.
Ito, little cook.
Sige.
Warning. Storm
Feeling
closing.
ko kaya di talaga tayo nag-enjoy sa album. Masyado tayo.
Takot. Oo.
Natatakot tayo. Baka mawala items na tayo.
Enemy spotted.
Laban sa tingin.
Gagi.
Enemies attacking.
Wala na ako naman.
I can't do that.
That squad has only one survivor.
Another
Yeah.
speck of dust. Forgotten. Life
Ito.
extinguished.
Bye.
Gear evolution available.
I'm in
Agi yung pating.
May blue armor, Michael.
I sense
Naka-green ka
wealth
lang.
here.
Go, Michael! Takbo!
Ay, ano muna? Ano muna gagawin ko?
Yan.
shifting position.
Sa loob na ako tuloy. Sa loob na ako tuloy.
Ah.
Nasa loob. Gitna.
Build.
Agi may kalaban pa sa kaliwa ko.
Oh no.
Ay, makikita. Nakayo ko sa'yo.
I can manage.
An allied
Ako kuha ako
orb
ng
is
base at
scanning.
mag-teleport yan, ha?
Oh.
Well, kung kailan nag-ano po ng base ko ng base.
Power in my possession.
Kill here.
May kalaban. Sana
I
di pa
can't do that. Our ride is here.
Mali yung ginawa ko. Sinabi mo.
Item evolution available.
Enemy in my sights.
Shit, nagalaman.
Half the squads have been eliminated.
Ba't ka? Ihabol.
Done. Yield to me. Your time is up.
Hey.
Sinabot.
Meteor beast incoming.
It's my way.
We're losing the signal. No more for next
Hindi
squad.
ka tayo punta. Ay, hindi ko kaya mag-complete. Malevel mo na ako.
Look to me.
The
Eh, Hatsuit tsaka Kingpin.
Namatay ka?
Oh. Hirap takasan eh. May malapit na pang revive sa kaliwa.
Hindi.
An enemy oracle is
Patayin ko
scanning.
na
Sige, tapusin mo na yan. Level 3 ka pa lang.
Grenade.
Ang baka ako nasa to. Maya.
Sige, sige.
Download ka na, Alger.
Sige, sige, sige. And we're back.
What do you think of Gravios' new moves? We also have a comparison. This month's IGN First is Monster Hunter Wilds. We got to play the first 5 hours or so of the story, plus face a few monsters from the Oil Well Basin. Look out for loads of interviews, brand new exclusive gameplay, hands-on impressions, and more on Monster Hunter Wilds all throughout the month of January. To get us started, here's an Ajaragon hunt in the ominous Oil Well Basin.
I'll just hop off for now. No one hit him! Hey, get out of here! Into the shock trap! Time to go on the offensive! I don't feel so good. Please don't let it spot me. It's asleep. Light on the paws now. It's asleep. Light on the paws now. This hasn't put a dent in it.
Thank you for watching our exclusive gameplay of Ajarakan. Don't miss our new Rampopolo video either, and check back often throughout January for even more Monster Hunter Wilds exclusives. And of course, for everything else, keep it here at IGN. We've seen a few returning monsters revealed for Monster Hunter Wilds so far, and I am excited to share with you brand new exclusive gameplay of this
Select your hunter.
Called to battle.
Let's fly.
You are the drop leader. What's up? Unstable portals detected.
I am the drop leader. Drop initiated.
Quest
go here.
received.
More are coming. Take care.
There, another squad.
The fir-
That squad's gone.
Critical damage.
Last alive?
Their
Let's do
squad's
this.
almost finished.
Knocked an enemy.
Quest successful.
Lock. I've got you.
A couple of seconds and we can get you back in there. Hold tight.
Sun's out.
Three, two, one.
I am silenced. I am almost destroyed.
Bombs out.
Last alive.
Down.
Good luck.
Stay down.
flying.
Choose.
Called to battle.
Unpredictable conditions today. Exercise caution.
I'll guide us in.
Here I am.
Received a quest.
Nourishment acquired.
Flushing them.
Barrier up.
First blood. Gear evolution available. First elimination.
Shielding.
Guns out.
Quest completed. Item evolution available.
Upgrade.
Teleporting.
Caution. Enemy seen.
Warning. Storm closing.
Barrier up. Enemy spotted. Stunned. Boosting.
Bombs out.
Grounded. Shield. I am stunned.
Gear evolution available. That squad has only one survivor.
The last one.
Barrier up. I cannot. Ha!
We've got incoming.
Allies fighting. You're the only one left.
Most I must fulfill my oath. Protecting. Barrier up. I cannot. Protecting. Barrier up. Barrier up. I cannot. Barrier up. Barrier up. Blocking. Barrier up.
Select your hunter.
Called to battle.
Nope. Roger that.
Let's go here.
Move here.
Quest received.
Boosting.
First blood.
Upgrade.
The first squad has been eliminated.
Move here.
Item evolution available.
Blocking. Barrier up. Nourishment acquired. Move here.
Your oracle is online.
Protecting. I cannot. Move
The
here.
storm is closing.
Leaping.
Enemy oracle online.
Barrier up. Caution. I am moving here.
Gear evolution available.
Let's go here.
Enemy spotted. Blocking.
We're fighting.
Those ones are finished.
Their squad's
Enemy
almost
down.
finished.
Guns out.
Here I am.
On the move.
Quest successful.
What?
I cannot.
Whatever.
Enemy here.
Ultimate ready. Move here.
I'm stunned.
Jumping.
Caution. Protecting.
Face this.
Stay down. Please. I am stunned. Heal or I cannot.
Flagging. I'm stunned.
Barrier up.
Detecting a meteor beast.
Caution. Please help.
Face this.
Half the squads are gone.
Silenced.
The storm is
Stunned.
ramping up. No more. Their squad is finished. Warning. Storm closing. Choose wisely.
Called to battle.
Ready to cause a little mayhem? You are the drop leader. Unpredictable conditions today. Exercise caution.
I am the drop leader. Drop initiated.
You have received a quest. First blood. First elimination.
Nourishment acquired.
We've got company! Item evolution available. We got company!
Move here. Enemy located.
Third party on the scene!
Here I am. I am moving here. Caution. Barrier up.
Storm tightening.
Move here. Move here. Upgrade.
An enemy oracle is scanning.
Move here.
Gear evolution available.
Stunned. I am all moves.
Another team, heads up! That squad has only one survivor.
Let's do this. Up and at 'em.
Got him in free.
Just me now. I got this.
Hang in there. You're going to respawn on your teammates.
Looks useful. Healing!
3, 2, 1.
I am silenced. I am moving here. Feel better. Barrier up. Move here. Enemy detected.
Meteor beast incoming.
So much blood.
Solo act.
It's chaotic out there. No more free respawns. Warning. Storm closing. Select your
Called to battle.
unstable portals detected.
My show now.
Move here.
You are the drop leader.
Drop initiated.
Quest received.
Boosting.
First blood.
Barrier up. Upgrade.
Item up. The first squad has been eliminated. Quest completed.
Nourishment acquired.
Healing for a sec. Looks useful.
Move here. Protecting. Caution.
You have received a quest. The storm is closing.
Enemy seed. Up. Barrier up. Critical damage. I cannot.
Up and at 'em. Just me now. I got this.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Monster Hunter Wilds pre-launch community update. My name's Jono, EME Community Manager on Monster Hunter.
Hey everybody, I'm Joe. I'm the Capcom USA Community Manager on Monster Hunter.
And welcome to our broadcast, which for the very first time will be bilingual in English and Japanese, which is a brand new concept for us. So we hope you enjoy it. And you'll probably not be surprised to find out why we're having it in English and Japanese, because as you can see, we have two very special guests with us. We have Monster Hunter Wilds director Yuya Tokuda, as well as Patrick from Capcom Europe, who will be translating for us. Hello. It's great to have you guys. Thank you so much for coming. Now, Joe, we've introduced our esteemed guests. We've said hello, but why are we here today?
Yeah, today is a really special stream. Again, we have some special guests here joining us, and we would like to share a sincere thank you to everybody out there who participated in the open beta test that we held at the end of October. And today we're going to be spending some time talking about how a lot of the feedback from that open beta has influenced the development of the main game. So just to kind of recap, the open beta was held with a couple of goals. The first, I think the most obvious one is we were able to give everybody a chance to play the game. It's a new hunting experience, new game, and it was great seeing everybody's responses. But the second part of that was really to test the different technology that's in the game, things like network load and game operation. So it was really great to see everybody's feedback and responses, but the team has really been working on the full game separately and making a lot of improvements and adjustments. And again, we just want to share thanks to everybody for sharing your feedback either through social media, our official survey, or through different places online. And while a lot of that feedback covered some known issues and things that we originally already planned to address in the final version of the game, a lot of the feedback actually covered some bugs and things that the team was not aware of or didn't intend to fix, so it was extremely helpful. And some of those fixes and adjustments are now prioritized for the final game, thanks to your feedback, and we're going to talk about a lot of that today. Jono, we actually had a round of previews go live recently, right? And that actually had some details that we're going to discuss today.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the community response to that was fantastic. So if you have seen the previews, you will recognize some of the content in today's broadcast, but there is so much more. And on top of that as well, this stream is an opportunity for the development team to speak directly to you, to introduce even more and clarify what you may have seen in the previews as well. But please do keep in mind that this isn't fully comprehensive. There's even more adjustments to the final game beyond what you will see here today. And what is shown may not necessarily be final and is, of course, always subject to change. Now, obviously, now we've covered that. Let's talk about our guests. Obviously having director Yuya Tokuda here is so much fun. And Patrick will be doing the Japanese to English, so you'll be hearing a lot of them both. So Tokuda-san, what would you like to say to everyone before we get stuck in?
はい、最初に徳田さんから自己紹介やコメントをお願いします。
はい、モンスターハンターワイルズディレクターの徳田優です。今日はこのような場を設けていただきありがとうございます。僕はモンスターハンター G から20年間、モンスターハンターを作り続けております。今日はよろしくお願いします。
Hello everyone, I'm Yuya Tokuda, the director of Monster Hunter Wilds. It's really nice to be here with you guys today. It's a good opportunity to speak to you directly. I've been working on the Monster Hunter series for 20 years now, ever since Monster Hunter G times. So yeah, good to get a chance to talk to you and let's have fun.
Amazing, yeah. But the open beta test was, honestly, it was the response was overwhelming. We saw just a huge variety of responses and feedback and just people enjoying it and also sharing, what they thought of it in a constructive way. So Tokuda-san, could you talk a little bit about what your initial impressions were seeing all the different reactions to the beta?
オープンベータテストの、ユーザーの反応への徳田さんの反応について教えてもらえますでしょうか。
はい、まず本当にたくさんの方にご参加いただき、ありがとうございました。クロスプレイのマッチングサーバーにもし問題があった場合に、修正期間を取るために、モンスターハンターワールドのオープンベータテストよりも1ヶ月早く、開催したんですけれども、おかげさまで大きなサーバートラブルもなくテストを終えることができました。
Yeah, thank you very much, first of all, to all the many players around the world who took part in the beta. It was a very useful experience for us. You may have realized that the timeline was even earlier on this beta than the one we had from Monster Hunter World back in the day. It was about a month earlier before launch. The reason we had this one earlier was because of the addition of crossplay to Monster Hunter Wilds. That new system meant that we really wanted to make sure we had enough time to fix any issues that might have arisen with crossplay matchmaking on the servers. But fortunately, we were able to get through the open beta test without any significant hitches in that area.
また皆さんの、楽しかっただったりだとか、もっとこうだったらよかったなみたいな、声を糧にしてですね、チーム全体がモチベーションを上げて、制作や改善に取り組むことができました。
Of course, it wasn't just about technical confirmation. It was also great to just see everyone's feedback, hearing all the players say how fun it was to play the game. And of course, your wishes and requests for things that you weren't enjoying quite as much about it. It was all such valuable feedback, and it's been great motivation for us to just finish the full game and make it even better. So thank you again for that.
Yeah, it really was a fantastic opportunity for everyone and for us to get some great learnings and observations too. And obviously, we've mentioned the open beta and what you thought about that. What were your thoughts, Takuda-san, on the recently published previews and interviews we'd seen from press from around the globe?
はい、先日メディアのプレビューも公開されていると思うんですけど、徳田さんは確認されてますか？いかがでしたでしょうか？
はい、まず世界中からですね、初心者からもベテランさんまで、すごく幅広い層の、ライターさんが、大阪に来てくださって、OBT からの改善点はもちろんですけど、ゲーム作品としてそもそもどうなのかだったりだとか、部分についてですね、とても楽しんで、ポジティブなレビューをたくさんくださったので、まずとても嬉しかったです。
Yeah, that was a really great experience. We had journalists from all over the world come and join us in Osaka, and it was a real range of people in terms of Monster Hunter play experience. Some of them were veteran hunters like yourselves, some of them were more on the beginner side, and getting to see their positive preview impressions was really exciting for me, because not just in terms of getting the news out there about improvements that have been made since the open beta test in the version they played, but their take on the game as a whole. That was something that was really fun for me to see, basically because it was very positive.
もうこれだけできてるんだったらもう大阪から帰りたくないみたいなことを言うメディアの方もいらっしゃいました。興味ある方はぜひ記事とか動画とかもチェックしてみてください。
Some of them were having so much fun and they said the game felt so finished already. They just didn't want to leave Osaka. They wanted to stay there and keep playing it for a long time. But unfortunately, we had to release them from the office. But yeah, if anyone hasn't checked out those preview impressions already, I'd encourage you to take a look, because they were really great to see.
はい、ではそれではここからはジョーとジョノから、説明があった通り、製品版で調整される内容と、OBT から変更される内容について、ユーザーの皆様にお知らせしたいと思います。
So yeah, as you guys, Joe and Jono, both mentioned earlier, today is a chance for me to talk directly to the community about some adjustments that me and the team are making to the game based on all the valuable feedback we got from you players about the open beta test.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get into it. I think we have a lot to cover today. So let's start with our first topic. Our first topic is performance. So during the open beta test, which was actually running on an earlier version of the game that's different from the internal version that the team is working on, we actually mentioned that the final release will have improved performance over the open beta test. So Takuda-san, could you walk us through how the team is improving performance for the full version?
はい、最初に製品版で目標にしているパフォーマンスについて教えてもらえると思いますのでお願いします。
はい、まず実物を見ていただくのが一番分かりやすいと思いますので、まだ最終バージョンではないんですけれども、プレイステーション5でフレームレート優先モードでのプレイ映像をお持ちしたので、ご覧ください。
Yeah, we've got some slides with some details coming up, but I think first of all, I really want you guys to just get your eyes on a gameplay video to understand where the performance is at. So I've prepared a video that's running on PlayStation 5 in prioritized performance mode. It's not the final version of the game, but it's a more up-to-date version than the one you would have played in the OBT. So let's take a look at that now.
はい、このように、OBT の時よりも綺麗なグラフィックで、60フレーム近くでプレイできる状態になっています。
Yeah, hopefully that gave you an impression of how much better the game is looking already since the OBT. It's running at almost the target of 60 frames per second, so it's looking great, I think.
はい、改めまして目標としているスペックですけれども、PS5 の解像度優先モードでは、4K30fps で安定してプレイできることをターゲットにしています。
So as per the slide we have here, just to talk you through the target numbers that we have. On the PlayStation 5 in the prioritized graphics mode, we're running a rendered output of 4K with a targeted frame rate of 30 frames a second.
フレームレート優先モードではレータリング解像度は異なりますが、60fps で、遊べるようにターゲットしています。
And for prioritized frame rate, that brings the rendering resolution down as you can see, but then the target frame rate gets to 60 frames a second.
OBT では目標のフレームレートに出ていなかった上にですね、フレームレート優先モードでは描画の不具合がありまして、髪の毛とか、羽毛のような表示の時に、ジャギーのようなものが発生するようになってまして、ちょっと綺麗じゃない、状態になっておりました。先ほどご覧いただきましたように製品版の方ではフレームレート含めて改善していますので、ご安心ください。
So the target frame rate that we have here was not being achieved in the OBT build. To be honest, it was an earlier version that wasn't quite as optimized. And there were also some rendering issues with the graphics when using frame priority mode, the prioritized frame rate. A lot of players reported seeing jagged edges on elements such as hair and feathers, the more fine details. As you will have hopefully got an impression of in the video we just showed, this has been greatly improved in the full version, and the frame rate is also hitting close to that target of 60 frames a second.
はい、あとPlayStation 5 Pro エンハンスド対応については、製品版発売時の Day1 パッチにて、対応を予定しています。PlayStation 5 Pro でのゲームプレイは、グラフィック表現がより強化、を予定しておりまして、詳細については今後の情報をお待ちください。
Also, just one thing to confirm is that PlayStation 5 Pro enhanced support is incoming, and it'll be ready with the Day 1 patch on release day of the title next year. That's going to enhance the graphics for PlayStation 5 Pro users, so please stay tuned for more details on that as we get closer to launch.
はい、Xbox シリーズ X と、シリーズ S につきましても、PlayStation 5版と同様な、パフォーマンス向上に取り組んでいます。
Moving on then to Xbox, you can see here that on the Xbox Series X and Series S, we're aiming at similar improvements over the OBT compared to what I just described for the PlayStation 5 as per the slide.
新版でもご利用の環境設定によって変動はありますけれども、パフォーマンスの向上について、同様に取り組んでおりまして、OBT と同じスペックの機材であっても着実にフレームレートなど、向上しています。
Steam is of course a bit more complicated. It varies greatly depending on your own personal rig, your hardware, and the settings you have set up. But we are working on improving the performance of that too. And the frame rate and other performance you can expect from the same equipment you might have used in the OBT will be improved for the full version of the game. So please wait a little longer to get a chance to experience that.
あとこれは本当におとつい聞いた最新の情報なんですけれども、推奨スペックとしてご案内しているグラフィックボードについてももう少し下げられる、可能性が、出てきております。正確な情報が、固まり次第公式サイトなどで、アナウンスさせていただきます。
This is actually something that I've literally just confirmed with the team yesterday or the day before, so it's very hot off the press news, but we're looking at hopefully lowering the level of the minimum recommended graphics board specs to allow more players with that level of hardware to play the game. The final details are still being worked on, so I can't share more today, but again, stay tuned to our official channels on our website, and we'll hopefully get more details about that out soon.
That is really, really cool. Joe and I can both attest that following the OBT, performance was an important topic for the community across all platforms. So it's really, really cool to be able to share the performance and visual improvements for all versions and platforms of the game across the board. So thank you for that, Guda-san. One little question though, because we did see some members of the community, particularly on PC, concerned whether or not they had a powerful enough hardware or rig to run the game on PC. Especially seeing, out there's such a wide range of hardware amongst the gaming community. So is there anything the team are thinking of or looking at doing to help players on PC determine if their rig will run Monster Hunter Wilds?
Steam ユーザーはそれぞれのプレイヤーがさまざまな環境で遊んでいると思いますけれども、発売前に自分の環境で、期待できるパフォーマンスを確認したいユーザーがたくさんいると思うんですけど、何かしら対策を考えたりしますでしょうか？
はい、さまざまな改善とか最適化が進んでいる中でですね、その製品版の環境でご自身の機材がどのように機能するかというのは、発売前に知りたいというのは、非常によく、分かっております。現在そうした方に向けてベンチマークとご用意できないか、検討しています。できるできないや時期など決定しましたらまたお知らせいたします。
Yeah, I totally understand the PC players on Steam really want to know before launch if their rig is going to be giving them the performance that they want. While we are, as I said, working to improve the performance greatly before launch, we're considering as well releasing a benchmark tool for Steam players, and that'll let you more directly check how your PC hardware is going to run the game. So that's something that's still in the works at the minute, and if that becomes finalized, again, we'll release further details on that in due course, so stay tuned.
All right, yeah, so we'll await any further details on a potential benchmark tool, and overall those were some really great updates on performance. But let's go ahead and transition to some of the gameplay specific adjustments to either weapon actions and the overall hunting experience. And I think both Jono and I know that one of the biggest topics and concerns from the community were changes to hit stop and the overall impact of weapons. And this was really something that we saw quite a bit of feedback on, looking for a little bit more punch to the different weapons. In our recent round of previews, we actually did confirm that there were some improvements made to this area. So Takuda-san, can you detail what these tweaks are?
はい、パフォーマンスに続けて武器の調整についてですけれども、多くのユーザーから、もう少しパンチが欲しい、手応えを感じたいっていうフィードバックが寄せられていると思うんですけど、これに対してチームの方で予定している調整などについて教えてもらえますでしょうか？
はい、オープンベータテストでは、いわゆるヒットストップや、サウンドエフェクトが過去作に比べて弱いというご意見いただいております。これらについて OBT では一部対応が漏れていたものもあったんですけど、製品版では、多くの武器種類、特に大技とか決め技を中心に、攻撃の手応えをより感じていただけるような調整をしております。
Yeah, this is, what people refer to as hit stop. It's something that we were aware of with the OBT build. There were certain things we'd already taken care of, actually, and certain things that hadn't yet been done. So when it comes to making those weapons feel more weighty and impactful in terms of hit stop and sound effects, we are planning to make further adjustments in the full version of the game in that area.
一つの例として、調整後の体験の新ため切りの動画をお持ちしましたのでご覧ください。
I've got a video here that we can show in a second, which shows you the true charged slash of the greatsword, and that's how it looks after these adjustments have been made to make these big moves and finishers feel more meaty. So let's show the video, please, and see how that looks.
はい、体験、実は新ため切りダメージ量の方も、増やしてます。ダメージ量に限らずですけど、ヒットエフェクトだったりだとか、ヒットストップについてももろもろ調整を行っていますし、サウンドですね、音についても調整してますので、トータルでヒット感は、向上しています。
So that move that we just saw, the true charge slash, has also actually had its damage output increased, but even for moves where I haven't changed the damage output, I've heard you guys on things like hit stop, on sound effects, how the moves feel to actually use. So those kind of adjustments are being made, not just on the greatsword. I use it as an example here because it's kind of easy to understand, but across the board on all weapon types.
はい、ヒットストップに関してはですね、モンスターハンターワールドをリリースした当初には、海外のユーザーを中心に、ヒットストップが強すぎるとか、重すぎるみたいなご意見をすごくいただいたんですけれども、今回、モンスターハンターワイルズのオープンベータですと逆に弱いというご意見もたくさんいただきまして、モンスターハンターの持ち味であるこの、重みのあるアクションという感覚が世界中の方に受け入れられ始めているんだなということも感じまして、感慨深くもありました。
It was really interesting actually for me to receive this feedback on the beta. I'm thinking back to Monster Hunter World, which I also worked on. And back then, there was a lot of player feedback, especially outside Japan, where players felt that the game was actually too weighty, that the animations were too slow. And that's completely the opposite of what we heard this time, where people were saying the Wilds OPT, everything felt a bit too light and floaty and weaker. So I'm taking that as a positive, where I feel like in the years between Monster Hunter World coming out and Monster Hunter Wilds OBT, players around the world have gotten used to that meaty, weighty hit stop action that is kind of one of the hallmarks of Monster Hunter. So knowing that they've accepted that and they wanted it back based on the OBT is actually something that I think is really interesting, and also it's really nice for me to hear.
No, that's really, really cool. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing those meaty chops and big bonks come February. And obviously, you know, we've spoken about how weapon interactions with monsters have been adjusted, but we're also looking at friendly fire and how that works, right? I understand that this was actually something as well that the team were looking into and considering before the open beta test went live.
はい、フレンドリーファイアの機能について確かにオープンベータテスト、配信前からも検討されていたと聞いてるんですけど、こちらは OBT を受けてどのような調整を予定しているのでしょうか。
はい、ゲームズコーンや TGS の、私有ロムでは、ガランスの流撃砲などによって、仲間が吹っ飛ばされる、いわゆるこうフレンドリーファイアがありましたけれども、OBT のタイミングでは多くの武器でそれらを緩和しました。
Yeah, this is something that, as you said, before even the OBT came out, we had our first playable globally at Gamescom earlier in the year. Then we had Tokyo Game Show. And the adjustments that we started to make for friendly fire were already present in those builds. So, for example, the Wyvern fire of the gun lance is something that we'd already toned down the effect even before the OBT started.
OBT の時点でもハンマーの勝ち上げなど一部こうフレンドリーファイアが残ってしまったものもあったんですけど、それらも製品版の方では、修正予定となります。
That said, as a lot of players will have noticed in the OBT, there were some friendly fire things that we hadn't handled yet. So upswing attacks on the hammer in particular, I think were causing a lot of people to be thrown around the place. And that's something that we're looking to get into a better place and fix it up for the final game.
またサンブレイクの方で実装されました、ダメージリアクションを無効化するこの干渉銃、といった、装飾品も実装予定です。
And just to mention as well, something that wouldn't have applied during the OBT, but the shockproof jewel, which you might remember from recently Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, is going to be in the full game, and that will further help you nullify those damage reactions.
の調整後のハンマーの勝ち上げの動画も持ってきましたので、ご覧ください。
I've got another video with me today, so if we can please show that, then you should get an idea of how the hammer upswing looks after these adjustments have been made. So let's take a look.
Game. So.
Yeah, the example is really great at kind of showing side by side the changes that have been made there. So, you know, I think, you know, with friendly fire, this is one of those changes where, you know, there's a lot of different players that a lot of different types of players that it may impact. So, Takuda-san, can you talk a little bit more about the intention behind making this change?
フレンドリーファイアですとプレイヤーの意見も分かれる仕様だと思うんですけど、徳田さんの今回変更を入れた意図についてもう少し詳しく教えてもらえますでしょうか。
はい、フレンドリーファイヤーの軽減は残念なかに思っている方もいるトピックだと、こちらも認識しています。今回ですね、ガンランスの流撃砲の範囲を結構思い切って広げたんですけど、この範囲で、ぶっ飛ばしを残してしまうと、マルチプレイですごく大きな、支障になってしまいます。
Yeah, I know what you mean because friendly fire is one of those features I think some players enjoy, the bit of the chaos, and they might find it disappointing to hear that it's being reduced, but it's all part of my overall balancing sort of approach. So to take the Gunlad's Wyvern Fire as an example, the range of that attack has actually been greatly expanded with Monster Hunter Wilds, and that meant that just the sheer range at which friendly fire could occur was kind of becoming something of a hindrance to having an effective multiplayer hunt.
だからこういう行動はルールを理解しているプレイヤー同士なら楽しく感じていただける要素にもなり得るんですけれども、クロスプレイだったり、救難信号によって、幅広いユーザーの方がマルチプレイする機会というのがすごく増えている中で、初心者のユーザーの方がルールがわからないままぶっ飛ばしてしまったりだとか、特にそういう要素があることによってマルチプレイを避けてしまうようなことを、避けたいと考えて、今回、こうした実装をしております。
I think that kind of scrappy, chaotic feel that you get from friendly fire is something that players who understand it and they know how to avoid it or when it's going to happen, those people can have an understanding with each other and enjoy that. But we've now got crossplay and we've got a wider range than ever of experience levels of hunters joining the game. And I wanted to avoid a scenario where this level of, extra range attacks causing friendly fire would mean that maybe less experienced players would end up knocking everyone around beyond the point where it's still fun, or they might get knocked around and not understand why it's happening and not find that enjoyable, and then they'd end up avoiding going online and playing multiplayer with other players. So it's really part of my intention to make sure that everyone can enjoy multiplayer together, and that meant making the decision on how to adjust friendly fire.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's making it more approachable for new players and less frustrating for experienced players who are playing alongside these new players joining the community. And kind of moving on from that as well, something that actually Joe and I encountered ourselves and what we saw within the community and content creators was that during the open beta test, they felt that monsters move locations way more often than they expected. Was this intentional?
ジョノとジョーもご自身で遊んだ時に気づいた仕様なんですけれども、モンスターが割と頻繁にエリア移動する仕様になってたと思うんですけど、コミュニティのフィードバックもたくさんある仕様だったと思いますので、こちらについてはどれだけ意図的なものだったでしょうか。
はい、OBT ではですね、そのプログラム的な不具合とですね、調整不足の両方が重なりまして、モンスターのエリア移動が、頻繁に発生していました。
Yeah, the actual truth is that there was a bit of a bug or glitch in the open beta test build, which meant that monsters were moving between areas more frequently than we intended. So the behavior you guys noticed in the open beta test build isn't something that was finally fully adjusted to where we wanted it to be.
製品版では、モンスターハンターワールドに近いような移動頻度になるように調整を入れています。
So yeah, we've worked on that since the open beta test build was created, and the final version should be more close in feeling to Monster Hunter World in terms of how often you feel the monsters are moving around.
Got it. Yeah. So even though that the amount of frequency that a monster might move locations has been toned down a little bit, sometimes a monster moving locations significantly it's kind of like a way of expressing its personality. So are there still some situations where a monster might move significantly?
これでも製品版ではエリア間の移動をする場合があると理解していいんですね。
もちろんモンスターがフィールドの中でどんどんこう移動していって、それを追い詰めていってハンティングするというのはモンスターハンターの、醍醐味の一つでもありますので、モンスターは移動していきます。
Yeah, that's right. It's one of the sort of key features of Monster Hunter is that you're chasing these monsters around these vast environments. So it's not like they're never going to move anywhere and you're just going to be stuck in one place to hunt them. You're still going to have that feeling of the chase where they move between different parts of the field as the hunt progresses.
またですね、特 特に生態系の上位に属するようなモンスター、その強いモンスターはですね、ベースキャンプから離れた場所、フィールドの奥深くに巣を構えていることが多くあります。今回はフィールドが、広大になっているということもありまして、いろんな緩和処理は入れてるんですけれども、それでも瀕死移動などの際に、大きく移動するということがあります。
Also, the maps are much bigger in this game than any previous Monster Hunter, and that means there's more turf to cover. And when it comes to things like the monsters who are at the top of the food chain in a particular map, their nests or their home turf within the map can be pretty deep into the area, and it can be some distance to cover. So if you get them to a weakened state and they're doing the thing where they limp back to their nest to try and recover, that's still going to be an occasion where you're going to have some ground to cover in order to chase them and find them again.
そうした場合はですね、その狩りたいモンスターの生息域だったり移動ルートに合わせた場所に簡易キャンプを立てて、ファストトラベルなどを使って先回りするような、使い方というのもすごく有効になります。
I would recommend when that happens in the full game that you can actually use the pop-up camp feature to its fullest. So if you're aware of where a particular monster's nest is going to be in the map, and if it's quite a distance from other areas, you can go ahead and sort of do a recce and scout it out and put a pop-up camp there in advance, so that when that monster starts to get weakened and try to return to its nest, you can fast travel to the pop-up camp and get there quickly.
So a little bit of planning, a little bit of prep, and it will pay off in the hunt, which is always handy. And, moving on, we've already covered a lot of juicy changes. We've been getting stuck straight in. So let's kind of move over to adjustments to something that's really important and helps really define a hunter's identity in game and that we're all very passionate about: our weapons. So we know many people are really interested in this. Takura-san, in our recent previews, the team showed off some changes to the insect glaive. But that's not the only weapon. Multiple weapons have received adjustments, but a few in particular, like the aforementioned insect glaive, have received the most attention, right?
武器の調整についてですけれども、プレビューのインタビューなどで徳田さんは特に総中根などの武器がかなり OBT に比べて大きく調整が入っているというふうにコメントをいただいていると思うんですけど、こちらについてもう少し詳細に教えてもらえますでしょうか。
はい、特に総中根、ランス、スラッシュアックス、片手剣については製品版とかなり違いを感じられるような、武器種になっています。それらを中心に調整内容をご紹介できればと思います。
Yeah, the insect glaive is one of several weapons, such as the lance, the switch axe, and the sword and shield, which I think players will, if you play the OBT version and then you play the full game, you're going to notice maybe the biggest differences and feel like we've made the most adjustments to those weapons in particular, although we have made adjustments to all the weapons. So I'd like to take the chance to go through a few of those details with you.
はい、総中根についてはまずは動画を見ていただければと思います。
So if we can run the video we've prepared of the insect glaive, let's take a look at that first.
はい、このようにまず武闘跳躍が、追加されております。
That's right, vaulting dance is back.
総中根についてはゲームズコンや TGS の私有の段階で、特にこの総中根使いの方々から、アイデンティティとも言えるような、武闘跳躍を、ないことについてですね、非常に残念がる声というのをたくさんいただいてましたので、OBT では間に合わなかったんですけども、製品版の方では、武闘跳躍追加しております。
So this is something I was actually aware of even before the feedback from the open beta test back at our Gamescom and Tokyo Game Show exhibitions of gameplay. We had our, insect glaive users, our bug rod mains complaining that the vaulting dance was missing, and it's one of the iconic moves of that particular weapon. So yeah, I'm happy to confirm that vaulting dance makes its return in the full version of Monster Hunter Wilds.
またですね、 吸収切りの出始めのところに、相殺効果がついていたりだとか、エキスを取った時の、効果などが OBT から、追加で対応を行っていまして、これらによって、立ち回りの幅がすごく広がっています。
As you can see on the slide, we've got a few other adjustments being made. One of them is that the descending slash now has an offset effect added at the beginning of that move. And we also have additional effects happening with the different extracts that you have during the course of the action. So those are going to improve the feel of the insect glaive too.
はい。その吸収切りのための部分の、操作っていうのが、押しづらいというご意見も、すごく多くいただいておりました。
One thing I wanted to cover additionally was that some players said that the controls for charging up the descending thrust were a little bit too difficult, or they felt tricky to operate in the heat of the hunt.
僕自身も押しづらいなと感じる部分もありましたので、何かできないか検討や相談っていうのを進めていたんですけれども、慣れてくるとですね、この貯めることによる遊びの広がりっていうのも確かにあるなというふうにも感じていることから、あとそれを回収するコストとももろもろ天秤にかけていった結果、今回はその貯め操作に関しては残すことに、しました。
I took that feedback on board, and I tried it out in the game myself. And I did somewhat agree that it could be tricky to pull that off right in the middle of things, but we always have to weigh up when we're going to make these kind of modifications to a weapon, what the implications are for its playstyle as a whole. We have to balance the idea of changing that with, how it might play the way it is. So after many discussions with the team, I actually decided to keep this one the way it is. I think that it is one of the trickier things to pull off, but it's sort of a bit of a rewarding bit of depth to the gameplay of the Insect Glaive. If you can get used to that and learn when to use the charge, it can really deepen your play style. So that's something that we're not adjusting this time, although we did hear your voices on that.
ですね、メディアプレビューツアーに、来られた、操縦根使いのライターの方はですね、触っていただいて、最高の操縦根になってるじゃないかとすごく喜んで、くれましたので、ぜひ製品版の方、お待ちいただければと思います。
Yeah, there was actually one journalist who was in Osaka for our preview last month, and they're an Insect Glaive main user, and they said that this is the best Insect Glaive ever in Monster Hunter history. So you can take that on board and look forward to the full version of the weapon in the final version of the game.
Yeah, amazing. It's so great seeing Vaulting Dance back. I know that it's been very, very highly requested from the community. And I think there's a lot of people out there, including myself and members of the community, who doubted that it was something that could even be added back into the game. So it's so great to see it back and to see it in action. So moving on from the Insect Glaive, I know there's other weapons we want to touch on. We mentioned in the previews that the Lance would be seeing some significant changes. So can you take us through those?
先にプレビューの段階で確かにランスも大幅に調整を入れる予定になっているというふうに徳田さんがコメントしてたと思うんですけど、その詳細について教えてもらえますでしょうか。
はい。ランスは、多様なガードと、細やかな移動行動を駆使していって過去シリーズよりもモンスターに張り付いていける選択肢を増やしたかったんですけれども、逆にそのモンスターの行動を見て待つ選択肢っていうのがなくなった結果、かえって行動の選択肢が狭まって、同じ行動を繰り返してしまうような、ちょっと単調なプレーにつながってしまう部分っていうのがありました。
Yeah, the Lance was something where the effects of the adjustments we made were somewhat on the unintentional side. So I wanted to add a variety of different options for guarding and more fine footwork movement options. And the idea was to increase the tool set of things the players had available when they're using the Lance. But I think that the unintentional effect of that was that players weren't able to do the classic Lance move of being able to wait it out and see what the monster is going to do next and then respond to that in kind. And I think that we ultimately ended up, unfortunately, narrowing the options available, and some players even went so far as to say that the Lance action felt monotonous because ultimately with the tools available, they still ended up repeating the same actions over and over again.
大きな変更点としましては、過去作のカウンター好きを、ガード中のためカウンターとして、復活させました。
So in response to that, one thing that I've done is take the Conjure Thrust move, which was a move that was available in past games with the Lance, sort of resurrected that in a new form as what we're now calling the charge counter, and that's something that you can use while guarding as well.
これによってカウンターで待つ、選択肢を作りつつ、さらに大きなモンスターの攻撃に対しては、ガードからパワーガードの方に派生していって、受けた攻撃によってため段階が変わる、新アクションっていうのも、足していってますので、そうしたものも含めた反撃の選択肢というのを取れるように、しています。
So the addition of this move, as well as the other adjustments that we've made, some of which you can see here, which includes a new move that can be chained into from both Perfect Guard and Power Guard, means that I think Lance players will appreciate the ability to read the monster's movements, and you can choose your counter-attack style, and you can even do a Power Guard that will now charge even more quickly or to higher levels if you successfully defend against more powerful monster attacks. So that sort of wait, read, and counter style of the Lance, I think is going to be getting much better than you might have experienced in the open beta.
その他混乱だったり暴発が起こりやすいような発生をなくしたりだとか、連携中に発生するガードダッシュのキャンセルのタイミングを早くするなど、過去作でできたことっていうのは、なるべくフォローしながらやれることの幅っていうのを広げる調整をしています。僕はもちろん、ランス使いの藤岡さんも、結構、じっくり触っていまして、かなり感触良くなってきています。
There's also another variety of adjustments that we've made to the Lance in conjunction with Mr. Fujioka, the executive director and art director, who, as you guys know, is a Lance main, so he takes the Lance very seriously. And I worked together with him on these. So I wanted to expand the range of what you can do based on past titles. That has included actually removing some moves that you tended to chain into only on accident, and it would kind of cause confusion and mess up your combos. So I've sort of refined the moveset a little bit in those ways, while at the same time speeding up the cancellation timing of guard dashes that are chained into during combos. So I think that these changes, if you trust me and Mr. Fujioka, are going to make the lads feel better than ever.
はい、動画の方もお持ちしたので、ご覧ください。
I've got a video for this too, so if we can run that, then you can see what I'm talking about.
And there we have it, Lance getting straight to the point, as always. So hopefully our Lance mains out there, that has put a smile on your face. And for those of you that have never tried the weapon before, hopefully that's, sparked a bit of interest for you to go check it out come February. But now to move on from the Lance, let's talk about the Switch Axe, which apparently has been made much stronger than it was in the open beta test. Takuda-san, can you tell us a bit more about that, please?
次にランツから移してスラッシュアックスも OBT の時から大きく変わってると聞いてるんですけど、詳細お願いします。
はい、スラッシュアックスに関しては、その斧モードでゲージを貯めて剣モードで放出していくような基本的なサイクル自体は、変えていませんが、斧モードでのちょっとためにくさみたいなものは、多少緩和しつつ、剣モードでの攻撃を、ゲージ消費に見合ったような威力とか手応えに調整を行っています。
Yeah, so with the Switch Axe, of course, the basic loop of charging up the Axe mode and then releasing in the Sword mode is the same. That's kind of what people expect from the weapon, but I understand from feedback that some players thought it was too difficult to get the Axe mode charged up, and that was something that I wanted to alleviate, so that difficulty has been adjusted. At the same time, the Sword mode has been adjusted to be this feeling more powerful and more responsive to match that gauge consumption.
特にフルリリーススラッシュは、手応えも威力も、最終派生型に見合った性能に、向上させています。
One move in particular that should be feeling a lot better now is the full release slash. It's been improved both in terms of its power output and its feeling, and it just feels like a much more appropriate finisher move in terms of how great it feels to pull off.
またカウンター切りの使い勝手を上げたりだとか、集中弱点攻撃の後隙を短くするなど、使いづらかったコードを少しずつ調整していって、全体的な遊びやすさというのを向上させています。
There were also some moves that the feedback from the player base was that they were a little bit too difficult to use. So using the counter rising slash in sword mode is something that's been made more usable. And I've also looked to shorten the animation lock period after using a focus strike with this weapon. So hopefully those things make it feel more usable.
はい、こちらも動画をご覧ください。
I've got a video for this one too, so let's take a look.
Yeah, the changes to Switch Axe are looking really great. As somebody who really likes the new moveset in Monster Hunter Wilds, these tweaks just take it to the next level. So I'm really excited about that, and maybe I'll switch to the Switch Axe. Sorry. Well, next up we've got Sword and Shield. Jono, I know this is very near and dear to your heart as your main. Tokuda-san, can you take us through all of the tweaks here?
はい、次にご存知のようにジョノがメインに使っている武器でもある片手剣ですけど、こちらの調整についてはいかがでしょうか。
はい、まずですね、過去作とちょっとボタンは違うんですけれども、ガード中に切り上げですね、のアクションを復活させました。
Yeah, so for the Sword and Shield, one thing we heard your voice very clearly on was that the loss of the ability to use Rising Slash while guarding was being majorly felt, so that's back, and you can now perform that move while guarding again.
また通常攻撃だったり、ジャストラッシュといった、各種攻撃の威力を
Game. I'll be on time.
Okay ko lang ulit.
Laro ka na?
Tinatry. Gusto mo gawa kayo bago, para bagong weapon. O tuloy na lang natin yung luma.
Pwede, sabay tayo.
Para sabay tayo.
Ano yan? Ha?
Sabay na lang natin palakasin.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Nadaldal kasi ako ni Mami. Pinadaldal kasi ako ni Mami. Teka, mag-restart muna ako, Michael.
Sige. Ililipat ko rin ito mamaya sa sa drive.
Okay.